You ever find yourself just scrolling and feeling kinda empty? Well, there's a reason for that feeling. It's this weird nostalgia for an internet that felt completely different. So today we're gonna break down how the web went from this world you explored to a service that's just delivered to you, and why that change really matters.
Now seriously, take a second. Think about it. What's your first memory of going online? For me, it was that awful screeching dial-up sound. For you, maybe it was some GeoCities page with a crazy tiled background and a MIDI song blasting. Whatever it was, that feeling of actively looking for something. That's what we're talking about. It just felt different, right?
Okay, so to get what's changed, we've got to first understand what the internet was. It wasn't just a utility, like a hammer or something. For the people who were there early on, it was a real place. A whole digital world with its own weird neighborhoods, its back alleys, and all these strange little corners you could totally get lost in.
And that right there is the key. The old internet was a destination. You made a conscious decision. Okay, I'm going online now. It wasn't just this thing that was always on, always in the background, always in your pocket. You had to go to it, to find things, to talk to people, or, to build your own little part of it.
I mean, this list just perfectly nails that creative, kind of chaotic energy. The web really felt like it was built by people, for people. You found stuff by just clicking on a weird link, or because someone in a forum was like, hey, you gotta check this out. The whole point wasn't just to sit there and consume stuff, it was to make something. To build your own page, write about what you cared about, and add your own little piece to this giant, amazing project.
All right, so how do we get from that sprawling, quirky, weird digital world to the super streamlined, predictable internet that we have today? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was a series of game-changing moments in the mid-2000s that totally rewired how we live our lives online.
And boom, you can literally see the dominoes fall right here. First up, Facebook's newsfeed. All of a sudden, things aren't in order anymore. An algorithm is deciding what you see. Then bam, the iPhone puts that feed in your pocket 24/7. The App Store comes along and poof, there goes the Wild West of software. Now it's a controlled market. And then Instagram just perfects the whole formula with that endless, smooth visual scroll. Every single one of those moves, whether we knew it at the time or not, was a step away from exploring and a step towards just passively consuming.
This quote, man, it just sums the whole thing up perfectly. The entire game changed. Instead of you actively going out and pulling information from the web started actively pushing content at you. It became just another utility, like electricity or water. You don't go to the water, it just flows into your house.
So what did this new delivery model create? Well, a lot of people call it the walled garden. Instead of this massive open web with a million different doors you could walk through, our online lives became trapped inside these perfectly manicured but totally controlled gardens run by just a handful of huge companies. Okay, when you put them side by side like this, the shift is, wow, it's crystal clear. We went from discovering things in our own little niche communities to having content delivered to us for massive audiences. The goal went from personal creation to producing content that an algorithm will like. And probably the biggest trait of all, we swapped a messy but decentralized web for a super clean and super centralized one.
So who's the curator in this new world? The algorithm. And you have to understand, its goal is not to make you smarter or happier or even more connected. No, its one and only job is to keep you engaged, keep you scrolling, keep you watching, keep you clicking. In this model, your attention is the product being sold.
And this chart, this shows you the result. When you actually map out where we spend our time online, the picture is pretty stark. The huge majority of it is completely dominated by social media platforms, big search engines, and a few e-commerce giants. You see that tiny little sliver for independent websites? That's what's left of the old open web. It's proof that most of our digital lives are now lived inside someone else's garden.
Now look, let's be real. The new internet is incredibly convenient. It's seamless, it's fast, it's always on. But that convenience wasn't free. It came at a cost. So what exactly did we trade away for this clean, predictable experience?
I think this quote says it all. We've traded a world of weird and wonderful for a world of pristine and predictable. And the internet was wonderfully weird. It was filled with personality, odd hobbies, and people just expressing themselves in unique and, sometimes clunky, but always authentic ways. Now everything feels so polished, so optimized, and ultimately so much of it feels the same.
And the consequences of this shift are really, really big.
We've lost the joy of just stumbling onto something cool that an algorithm didn't spoon-feed you. There's this massive pressure on everyone to perform, to turn their life into a personal brand. This system also gave us surveillance capitalism, where our every move is tracked to sell us stuff. It fuels the echo chambers that pull us apart, and it flattens creativity because everyone starts making the same things to chase the same metrics. Which leaves us with a final, really important question. Is a more authentic internet still possible? Or is this just how things are now? Can we reclaim some of that old, creative, weird spirit? Can we build new places online that actually prioritize connecting with other people over just racking up engagement points? It's something to think about the next time you find yourself just scrolling. That's all for this explainer. Thanks for joining us.